Hey, space cabbers. We're space cabbing away in Christie Pits Park. Those are the guys on the bikes. They have also sort of taken over our picnic bench. There are children and people wearing tattoos and runners. So, in order to fulfill one of Space Cab's mandates, we have a paranormal story for you today. And I'm here with Roxanne, everybody. She's been a long time friend to Space Cab. We finished our work day and we've come to the park. And I think Roxanne's going to tell me this story if she wants to. I'm assuming she might want to.
I am Roxanne.
You are Roxanne. She's as pretty as you think, friends.
It's probably 2006. I didn't believe in ghosts. But my friend, who's going to be my roommate, she was moving out of a house at Main and Danforth that she shared with her sister and two other roommates. And we went to get a few things of her last. Everyone was moving out of the house. Her sister was the only one left. The house was bare. They always said that house was haunted. I did not believe it because I did not believe in that kind of thing. I had been there many times. I did not feel anything. I did not hear anything.
So you had been there many times and you didn't see nor feel
Nothing.
the sense?
No, I'd slept there.
Ooh, okay.
But all the roommates had, and it was very many different roommates, had all said the same things. That they heard weird noises, that things would fall when they weren't in the room, all kinds of crazy things. But I was just like, nonsense. This friend also was really into Sylvia Browne, psychic extraordinaire.
Excellent.
So she read all her books. So she was super into that stuff. I was not. I used to think it was funny, but I wasn't into it. We went to get the rest of her things. It was daylight, and I was in the kitchen, and they had like a weird old kind of
To get the rest of her things move in or out.
out. Yeah, there's only like she had like a pillow with like a bag full of like clothing, like just like a bag full of clothing, not much. And she went upstairs to grab that, and she wanted to know. She was looking for a tea or something. She didn't remember packing, so I looked, and it wasn't in the cupboard in the kitchen. And I turned around and I looked into the basement, and there was no door. Why? I don't know. I just turned around and it was like right there. And I looked down. There was no door to it, and it was black.
I don't like it.
I know. And I just got this creepy feeling, and I was staring down into it.
Don't.
And it creeped me out. And I've never been creeped out like that before. I don't know. So I immediately went to the front door and I yelled up to her, up the stairs, "We need to go now." And she ran down the steps with her stuff. And she's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "We need to leave now." I just got the creeps. I didn't see anything. I just felt weird. So we get outside and lock the door. Her door, she had a screen door, and then she had a wooden door, and there was like a window to the wooden door, and then there was like a kind of like a lace, kind of half see-through but not really see-through, like kind of curtain thing that was kind of pinned up to it. So we lock the door, and she realizes that she left the hall light upstairs on.
This
And
was
so-
a contentious issue.
Yeah, because we had to go back in now for that light because her sister was going to freak out because they paid for hydro.
Which in
It's expensive.
Ontario,
Yeah.
across Canada.
It's an old house. It's like a full house that they were renting, right? It's not like a good situation. So she goes to unlock the door. At the window, you could just see like a black shadow that stood there. And it almost looked like the curtain moved a bit. And then it disappeared. And we both didn't say anything. We left the light on.
Okay.
We got on the streetcar at Maine, and we went to college in Dufferin where we had our apartment. And when we got back, we poured whiskey. We sat down and we said, "What did you see?" And she was super freaked out because she believes in that stuff. She was scared, and then she was scared. Did she bring it with her to the new place? And it was a whole
Hitchhiker effect.
Yeah. But that was like there was definitely it almost. Her sister was the only one there. She was a band person. She was out of town, and all the other roommates didn't have keys anymore. So there's no one that could have been there. But we both saw someone in that house, and they just came to the door to like look at us and then left.
I imagine, obviously, I'm thinking it could be. Did they come from the basement?
Definitely, it was from the basement, 100%,
Yes.
because there was something bad happening in that basement. And you know what?
It.
All the times I'd ever been there, I'd never been in that basement, so I don't even know what it looked like.
Oh, why didn't it have a door?
I don't know. It was a really old house.
Okay.
Apparently bikers had lived in there before.
Okay.
And they used to bring like their motorcycles in there. The floor was all kind of warped from it. It was kind of like, and all the people that used to live there were like band people, so they were just like looking for cheap rent. It wasn't like a bad house. It wasn't dirty or anything. It was just like an old home, you know.
That's where you could get cheap rent back in the day.
Yeah, it was like 5-minute walk from main station.
There's no cheap rent in the city
The
now.
world.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where.
But now, so I guess I do believe now, but I don't think I've seen anything since. But I definitely saw that, and she saw the same thing as me.
Yeah. Did anything follow you guys back?
No. But I hated that new apartment.
Yeah. Did you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I hated it. But my mom's apartment, the woman that was there before her was quite elderly. She passed away sleeping.
Your mom had a story.
Yeah, well, she has a few stories, but
Okay.
the woman before her passed away in bed. She was quite old. This is probably like 20 years ago. And her cat Lola, well, she got Lola later, but Lola would just stare up at a certain part.
I love how they do that. Misty's doing
They
that to me
just
in the
like
basement.
is staring up like someone's standing there.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "What are you looking at?" But she would always do it. Lola passed away a few years ago.
Cats are from Egypt, and they do.
So she has a new cat, Oliver.
Oliver's such a great name.
He's a good guy. He does the exact same thing in the exact same spot. Yes.
Okay.
That's what creeped my mom out.
Okay.
She was like trying to video it for me on her iPad, but she doesn't know how to do it. But she was like, you can't buy it, but he does it in front of me. So they see something or hear something. And
yes, they do. They look into the portal. They can see the other dimensions.
Yeah.
Around us and themselves. Multi-seat.
But my mom, when her and my aunt, for fun, when I was a kid, I was in grade school, went to a psychic. And the psychic had told my mom that I had been a priest in a previous life and I drowned.
Oh, no, this, okay. No, no, this.
So my friend's aunt was super into psychics. So she would have like psychic parties where she'd pay the woman to come and like 5 or 6 of us would have it done. Again, I didn't believe in it. I didn't think it was crazy.
It's fun to do, surely.
Yeah, and then the first time I met her, they were always bothering me to go. I didn't want to go. And then it was in Etobicoke. I didn't want to go. And then the first time I met her, she told me that I was a priest and I had drowned. The exact same story.
Your name could have been more like Roman.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what like century this is supposedly doing, but anyways, I can't swim.
And you cannot swim?
No.
So half our crew is unable to swim properly.
I know. That's what's dangerous about working by, because Paul can't really swim either. That's why I'm always nervous when you're like at 8 by the pool, because I'm just like, oh man, get away from those box splits. You're gonna trip out. I'm also scared I'm gonna fall in with the pool.
That's just.
You just go in the back and say, "Where's Carter?" And all these bubbles are coming up.
No. Bottom of the Roxanne. We've already fucked everybody over this. All right. Yeah. Why is it you do not swim, cannot? Did they not make you do it in school?
No. Oh my God, I went to such a poor school. We didn't even have grass.
Really?
No, it was like a garbage ass school. And our high school also did not have grass. We didn't have football fields. We didn't have anything. So that was like a luxury. Like you'd put your kid in swimming lessons. That was like a
right special.
If I lived in a different part of where I grew up, where Roxanne grew up, some of those schools definitely would even bring you to the community center for swimming lessons, but our school. So, and then my neighbors had a pool when I was a kid. I used to go and take care of it when they were gone to the cottage.
Another complaint.
I didn't get taught how to swim by anyone. I guess I could kind of swim a bit when I was a kid.
Like, yeah, you can, I'm sure, likely.
Like I can doggy paddle.
Exactly. Keep himself
afloat. Yeah, I don't know.
And that's what Irish also admits, that he could kind of.
Yeah. You can't swim.
I can, but I'm not a terrific swimmer.
Right.
At all.
Our other coworker's good, though.
Correct. What other things did the psychic tell you?
Well, like just weird nonsense.
Okay, I thought there might have been 2 drownings.
There was 2 different. So the one that my mom talked to said that I drowned in a previous life, and then the one that I talked to had a previous life said that I drowned, and then I went to this other lady that my friend, who actually was the one I was talking about earlier with the house, she got me to go to this other lady, actually near Maine and Gerard.
Here we go.
And she told me that I had been bludgeoned, like iron beds and stuff like that. Like,
Right.
It freaks me right the fuck out. It always has. Like, I don't like any of that shit. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. I'd like to have that done.
Her last name, the psychic lady, was McBurney, but we called her McEasty. Not to her face.
Gee. Why?
We always made up nicknames for people. Not necessarily always mean, but it's like the first thing. We were both dyslexic, kind of, so it was the first thing that came. Like, Bernie, Easty. Same.
Birdie?
Bernie. Like something burning.
Burning. Easy. Oh, well, itchy. Painful. True this. Okay. You learn a lot here at Space Cabin.
That's just how we were.
Well, that's right. I mean, we're not here to judge, per se.
But she was always like a super believer in all that stuff. So she was always like talking about it. And I didn't until that house thing. Because I'd slept there. She was just like, I just didn't. Never. But she would always experience when like she felt like someone was like sitting on her chest kind of thing. Like she couldn't get up.
She had that?
Yeah. She gets
the
it like
old sleep paralysis, the hag.
Yeah. Her ex-wife too, her parents owned a really old barn house. Like a farm with a barn, and then like they turned the barn into a house, and it was just like this big piece of property, but extremely old. It had been their grandparents. She used to get it there too, in one of the bedrooms constantly. Not all of the bedrooms, but specifically one.
It's often like that. I've heard such terrifying tales on the podcast and the telly on the TV.
It sounds scary, like when you think whether it's someone like you or not. The fact that you can't get up, like
sleep paralysis,
is just so scary.
Yes, and it's often connected to abduction time.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe not often, but possibly it exists without being such.
Yeah.
I believe that that's true as well.
I've never had that before. Have you?
Nor have I. No, I'm monstrously terrified of such a thing.
I get like auditory kind of terror as I'm like falling asleep.
Why?
So like I don't know. So like as I'm falling asleep, I have a cat. Roxanne has a cat.
Yeah.
And I look over at her to see if what I heard was true. So it'd be like someone coughing, someone talking to me, glass breaking, like just things that like, like I have to get up and look to see if the glass is broken. But I know my cat beside me, if she's still sleeping, there's no glass broken, right? Like,
right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But
please note, Roxanne has saved yours truly from the wasp inserting itself into my beverage, which came from our leader, whom we shall refer to as Kay.
Yeah, but I always get that. It's like, it's hard to fall asleep. Yeah,
I have actually never heard of such a terrifying...
Yeah, sometimes someone calls my name. Sometimes like I hear like someone banging on my door. Just all kinds of like things as I'm trying to fall asleep. So then I wake up because I'm scared, and then I try to go back to sleep again, but it like continually happens. I have a doctor's appointment next week.
Wow. Yes, do, but
it
might not be the right, but they could certainly lead towards something.
Can I see a specialist?
Right, yeah.
I guess I don't know. Maybe I'd rather that than like someone sitting on my chest, like me thinking, you know what I mean?
Right, I don't know. But, and so, is that why you listen? Do you listen to something at night? So that helps to keep that away, or does that not do that?
It doesn't change anything.
Oh.
I could be in front of the TV or whatever.
Doesn't matter. And is it happening when you just almost
when I'm
already kind of falling asleep?
Like I'm falling asleep. I think it's like, when some people like as they're falling asleep, they'll like, I've done this before too, where you're like trip in your dream.
Oh, you kind of do that? Yeah.
It's kind of like at that point. But then it wakes me fully back up, right? Wow. So then I have to go back. So it's hard for me to get to sleep. So I have like a Costco nightlight in my living room that's pretty bright.
Right.
So I can see shadows.
Okay.
Because just like when I hear something, I can look and I can see there's no shadow. There's nothing.
There.
There's no one there.
Something like, nobody. Right.
Not because I think anyone's actually there, but
Right.
it just helps me go back to sleep quicker
Of
than
course.
like me having to like wake up and check.
Of
Because
course.
I live on a main floor, which means someone
Right.
could
That
technically
feels
crawl
more.
into my window, right?
Okay, don't say that.
Just saying.
Okay. You should
Actually, I live in a certain spot, and on the other side of the thing that I live near, for years ago, it was like 18 years ago, there was someone breaking into women's apartments
Really?
just on like 5 minute walk from my apartment for about 2 years, but they never came like close to my building. But it was like a 5 minute walk.
Very bad.
Like you could pull yourself up and get in on my balcony.
Oh my god.
For sure.
Okay.
So I always have to be a little worried.
Yeah.
But my building's very safe.
Good.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just hard to fall asleep. Even with TV on, whatever. Which is annoying. At least if I had like slow music or something on and I could get to sleep fine, and that would be soothing, but there's nothing. Even if I'm having a nap, that's like same thing happens.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it's not just at night.
And how long since did you have that as a kid?
Oh yeah, since I was in high school for sure. Yeah, my friend who moved out to Vancouver, he used to sleep over because he lived in Toronto, and he would come down and hang out, and he'd sleep in my bedroom. He would say, like, your energy is so crazy when you fall asleep.
Really?
So he would actually stay up and read until I had fallen asleep, and then he would go to sleep because he felt it was so disturbing.
Oh my god!
He just said it was like a weird vibe and I had never told anyone that because I thought it was weird, like I didn't want to tell anyone I was having that. But he totally like read it. He believed in a lot of kind of weirder stuff too, but he totally picked up on that stuff and kind of made me feel like less weird about it. Just
Yeah.
like people have weird things like that. It's fine.
Yes.
He was a little bit older than me.
Well, I think you have many past lives.
Maybe.
I do. I feel like you do have an energy of like in wonderful eyes, Roxanne. Yeah, the wasps.
Yeah, I don't know what it's about. I'd like
Nor
to
do I.
stop.
What would you?
Like to stop. Like
You would like it to stop?
Yeah.
Yes, certainly.
Because it's just terrorizing, right? Like, it's
Yeah,
not even
of
just
course.
hearing like a noise. It's like
I'm not even sure who you would see to have that thought about
I
or
don't know.
worked upon. I think, have you ever spoken to about with any type of
no, because I always have
therapist
lots of other
person?
things.
Wow. Yeah, fair. Wow. I think that's wow that he said that as well. How did he describe the energy?
Just like weird energy as I was going to sleep. He said it felt like the room felt different as I was like falling asleep.
Really?
Yeah. So he literally wouldn't fall asleep until I would fall asleep. 'Cause he didn't like
We're being muscled by wasps as it's middle September time. We've passed middle September proper.
and the tree's making a mess with leaves, so we're
It's
gonna
quite
definitely
beautiful.
pick them up before we go.
Yeah. Blast. What else should we talk about quickly?
You don't have issues with falling asleep.
No.
You
I
fall
read
asleep with like music or anything on?
negative. Sometimes, well, yes. I mean, I do enjoy that, but I don't do that for Misty. Anyway, but in any case, nay, I read a bit before I go to bed. Misty under the bed comes out and attends to herself. I'm reading the Stuart Sword Wow.
Yeah.
God, Blue Blood, True Blood, Blue Blood, Stuart Sword Love. So he explains he was abducted young and often, and he was part of the Montauk Project stuff. And he has since the different sort of aliens that have been on planet previous and during and then worked with us, manipulated us. And it's fascinating. He's not a bad writer at all, and I'm quite interested in that.
Huh.
Yes.
Do you go to the library and get your books? Or you buy them?
No, I buy them. I ordered them.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I ordered them from the good thrift books.
Oh.
Because at least it's secondhand, but that's merely so I don't have to leave the house.
Do you ever go to that place? I forget what my friend who actually
Shakers.
who used to actually told me about the energy. He used to hang out with that guy, like hang out and kind of check out the books down there all the time. And we used to go and meet him after work.
That was the best place.
Yeah, it's still there, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes. So
Is it the same? I wonder.
Will you go with me?
Yeah, we'll go with it.
Afraid. Okay, next Monday we'll go there.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't been there for long, but I'm glad that it's still there. Because what was it? Kilgore's was above it. But it's nice because that's one of the only things left in that neighborhood. That's like
Toronto.
Yeah.
Now that Ed's is gone. Ed's is gone. Markham Edwards Books is gone.
Yeah.
David's Verbish book. Was he the art books then for a while?
Yeah, he had that. That was a nice place. Remember Page's books down at Queen and
even Page.
Yeah, it's the last thing in that the
Let's
Annex.
go to Seekers. That's a wonderful idea. And the Guiling was there.
That's down on College now.
Oh, right. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I would like to go there too.
But that was a nice space, the Beguiling.
Oh yeah, I mean all of that. That road was so nice.
Yeah, my friend used to make jewelry up in one of those studios.
Yeah, it was a great place.
Yeah, with what was that New Orleans place?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember. Was it called Santa Fe?
No, that was cool. They had like a little like date booth with two people that you'd have a date in it, and there was a little curtain so you could like kind of like make out in there. It's funny. But they always said that place was haunted upstairs.
Well, I believe it.
Have you ever been to the Keg? Jarvis?
The mansion? We should go there.
Because they say the second floor is haunted there too. The staff have been saying that for years.
Have they? They don't have any vegetarians there. Such a beautiful, beautiful animal.
Yeah, Seekers.
Seekers is good. It looks like a fox. What a beautiful, beautiful one.
Because they used to sell stuff really cheap there.
Well, then they had second. Well, it was mostly
secondhand.
Stupid. Yeah, they had everything, and their selection was good. That was before you could just go online and be there tomorrow, day after.
Yeah, you had to go in, and those were books you couldn't find anywhere.
No, and then you would see something else you didn't know about. Yeah, we got to go there.
And everyone that hung out there, they were all knowledgeable, right? If you said, I like this book, they could tell you like 12 other books to buy. Yeah. I know, it's a different time. I wonder if that guy owns the building.
I hope so.
Because you'd figure
the world's like he is, but I don't know. Do you think so?
He's just the last thing left up there, other than Futures. But I mean, the Annex wasn't like nice back then.
No.
Like it wasn't the same. It was like anarchists and like squeegee punks.
Yep.
Nice houses.
Yes.
The street itself wasn't anything like fancy.
Negative.
But I think at the Transact, I feel like I saw Evil Dead, the musical. That was amazing. That was the first one that they had ever done. It was like a one-off, and it like was a hit. And then that's when he started doing, and then it became an actual like musical. A friend of mine's sister was their neighbor.
Well, we gotta ask Colin if that's true.
I'm sure it was that space, because otherwise, I remember it was right there. There was nothing else there that I could have seen it at.
Well, you could have seen it because that other thing that's a front of it was a theater as well. And across, depending how long ago that was Albert's Hall. Could have been the Transact Hall.
Maybe.
Because they have two theaters, companies that use their space.
Yeah, this was a long, long time ago.